Great vibes, great people, great conversation. Welcome to FK Sessions with Alistair and Trav.
Hey everyone, welcome back to FK Sessions, Volume 4, I believe, Travis?
I think it's 4.
4. We have the lovely Nicole Cleave, welcome,
Hi,
from Naala Healing and Breathwork. We had a great experience the other night.
Yes, we did.
Went in for a
Very interesting.
pre-podcast session, which we'll get into. But firstly, tradition. New bottle. Look at that.
Scotch
Isn't that
them up.
beautiful?
Love
You
it.
like
Scotch
Yeah.
them
Do you
up.
like it? Yeah, I'm all about it.
We've got our coasters
Especially
from our
on
last
Christmas
guest,
Yes.
Tariq. Chocolate's here. Hey, Choc.
Just free pouring here, guys. There's nobody.
That's all right, mate. Do your thing. I've got
Shot
your glass.
There you are.
Thank you.
Oh,
Are
we
you
gotta
much of a
get you
Scotch drinker, Nicole? Or
There's a
No,
coaster
not
there.
really wine.
wine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll go with tradition as well.
Red, white. Have you got a poison of choice?
Both.
Both?
You start with white and you finish with red.
That's the rules of the game. Awesome.
Love it.
So like Alistair was saying, we did a session with Nicole the other day, so we've done a little bit of homework. Wanted to experience what it was all about, which was awesome. It was, very interesting. It was eye-opening. It was a good little experience, and we'll talk about it a little bit through the show. But do you want to tell everyone, Nicole, what you do and who you are and what it's about? Like tell people that don't know and never heard of you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a certified breathwork facilitator. And there's breathwork and there's breathwork journeying.
Yeah.
So there's breathwork for all sorts of reasons, for relaxation, for anxiety, for endurance, for mental endurance, and there's breathwork journeying, which is a very spiritual experience, as you guys experienced the other day.
Yep.
I also do Reiki as well, which is energy healing, and it's also really powerful, especially if you're in tune to energy. You actually feel it through your hands, and I feel it really strongly through my hands. And I'm also a certified integrative nutrition health coach. And when I say integrative nutrition to people, they think I'm going to talk about food, and it's actually the last thing I talk
really?
about. Yeah.
I would have thought food.
Yeah, I would have thought. I always think about food though. So.
Really interesting. Because when I started the training as well, that's what I thought I was going to be learning. I was going to be learning about superfoods and herbs and literally how to heal yourself with food.
Yeah.
But there's 2 pillars in integrative health, and they call it primary food is the first one, and then secondary food. And primary food consists of 4 main avenues, and it's relationships, career, spirituality, and physical exercise.
Okay.
And so you look at those 4 things in a person's life first, when they're dealing with any kind of, health, physical health or mental health issue.
Yep.
And then you talk about the food.
Yeah, so live food. And then actual food.
Because when you talk about healing, if you're not looking at a whole approach, like if you're not taking into consideration your environment, your relationships, your job, are you happy where you work? Do you like the people that you get along with? What are your dynamics in your relationships, whether it's family, friends, intimate relationships? They all have a huge bearing on your life. Your mental health especially, what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, I think a lot of people wouldn't realise how much it would affect their physical health.
Yeah.
If everything else is out of whack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you go to the doctors and you've got these physical symptoms and here's all they're trained to do is try and figure out what that physical, symptom stems from in a physical way. They don't have the time or the resources or the training
Yeah, well, they don't have
to
the
ask
training,
you those questions, the leading questions about, well, what's going on in your life. Some doctors do. I think it's getting more prevalent these days.
Yeah.
But a lot don't. That's not what they're there for.
No, and they're pretty unequipped as well.
They are.
Like you said, training and that sort of thing. Like they're not. You sort of go in there with mental health. Look, I've had mental health issues throughout my life, and I've approached you say, physician once about it, and I was essentially pushed aside. So they were quite surprised that they were approached about it, or even the conversation about it. They basically referred me or deferred me to someone else, and said, look, they'll just call you. And I actually never received a phone call.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've over the years, I've equipped myself with those pillars. They're the same pillars, you know, I've recognised those pillars myself throughout my life. And, you know, I've focused on those. And to not even get a phone call, you know, for people that go in there that maybe don't recognise those pillars or have no, I guess, awareness of the mental health or why they're feeling that way and that sort of thing, and can't sort of, you know, look into themselves. You know, that's pretty, you know, to shut someone down by going in there to see a doctor, because people that don't know are going to go, well, I don't feel right, I'm going to go see a doctor. And for a doctor to just, you know, essentially palm you off and then no one ring you and that sort of thing, like someone that would be in a very bad state, suicidal, whatever it may be, that'd be pretty bad for them. I took it as I didn't think they could help, so I'll just look in other avenues. But there'd be some people that So you're right, doctors aren't the answer with that sort of thing. I think, but I
had a loved one last year, actually, you know, quite close to me, and was going through quite a severe depression. It was getting pretty bad. I mean, and I had the tools and the skills, you know, to help, and I was doing the best I could. But sometimes you're too close to someone.
100%.
And especially, you know, opening up to someone. You know, there are some things that you just want to keep.
Sometimes it's easier to do
or talk to a stranger, or a doctor. So they went to the GP because they felt that was the only avenue that they had. And they got a prescription for antidepressants, which is chemical. You know, and told me, and I was like, oh, no, okay. You know, but you can't tell someone else what to do. You know, like you can only offer, you know, support and guidance and, you know, the advice that I had. And thankfully the prescription sat there for a while. Unfilled. And then things were still progressing, and then the script got filled. Then the box sat there. You know, so it sat there for a while. And it's like, you know, and you know, and as I said, it's someone very close to me, so I won't say who it is. And they said to me they just felt like there was no other option, there was no other avenue out there for them. Like, where do you go? Like, where do you reach out? Who do you reach out to?
Were you doing this at the time? Were you doing what you're doing at the time? You know, so I was trying to use, you know, like Reiki.
Wasn't doing breath work, you know, like they weren't interested. Diet was huge, like making sure that, you know, diet was really good and environments were really good, and you know, and being allowed to blow off steam. You know, like if you need to blow off steam, if you need to scream. You know, if you're in a bad mood and, you know, you fuck the whole world, you know, like you should be able to do that.
Otherwise you just bottle it up.
Well, there's you know, there's a huge physical reaction that happens when you hold stuff in, whether it's physically or mentally, you know, and it's called repression. You know, and if you can't get that energy out in any way, shape or form, it doesn't go anywhere. Like it stays there. And it has a memory. It lives in your cells. You know, and it affects every single part of you. Like it affects your organs. This is where physical illness and disease comes into it. You know, but your mind and your body aren't separate. You know, so then it affects your mind as well. You know, and sometimes you don't know what you're supposed to deal with first because you're sick physically. You know, no matter what's going on, there's always going to be a presentation of some kind of illness. You know, and you're fucked up mentally. You know, so how do people, you know, unless you've got the skills or you understand, you know, avenues of health, you know, looking at your life as a whole. You know, well, am I happy? Am I happy with who I'm with? Am I happy where I am? You know, where I live, what I do, you know, and how am I looking after myself physically with food, with nutrition? I mean, because that still plays a huge part in health. It still blows my mind to this day when you say to someone, you know, who's not well, I mean, and even doctors, you hear it from the medical profession all the time. How's your diet? Okay, so get off the sugar.
Yeah.
You know, cut down on the processed food, on the carbs, on the alcohol and all that sort of stuff. And people go, can I get a script?
Yeah.
You know, seriously, they do.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, no, can you prescribe something
It's sort of
seriously?
it's like the cheap way out kind of thing. Yeah. I think the best, I've read somewhere or heard somewhere about the best antidepressant is just finding that hobby or that thing to do. Like, I know my brother, back when he lived at home with mum and dad, was pretty angry in that all the time, and then he bought a house and did a heap of renos, and that was his antidepressant. Renovating his house made him happy, and it changed him as a person. You know, it's like finding that thing, outlet.
Anything can be an outlet as something
It's
as
purpose.
simple as health.
That's the key
Purpose,
to life, is you got to find your purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and I say this to people and people say, I don't know what my purpose is. And I'm a big believer in that actually comes through when you're young. You know, like when you're little and you decide that you want to be a policeman or a fireman or a sports person or whatever it is, you know, you want to be a rock star. I mean, they're the sorts of things that aren't unrealistic. You know, why can't you chase those dreams?
Probably because,
it's conditioning.
it is. When you're young, I don't think schools and that or education as a whole supports that sort of thing, because I don't think they do. They say they do, but I don't think they do.
I think it's closer to home, though.
Yeah, and home as well.
I think it's the family environment. You know, a parent's job is not to control a child.
Yeah.
A parent's job is to care for the child. I mean, there's an exchange that happens.
Yeah.
You know, when a new life is coming to the world.
Yeah.
I mean, they come our side to be, I mean, you've got a young one.
Yeah.
You know,
7 months. Yeah.
like he's come into the world to be your teacher just as much as you've agreed to be his carer.
Yeah.
You know, you have an obligation to make sure he's nurtured and safe. You know,
I was just in the crib with him
healthy.
before, putting him to sleep
Yeah.
inside the crib.
Yeah, but
Poor
you know
little
what
guy.
your job is not? To tell him what he should be.
Yeah.
I mean, if he says to you at 4 or 5 years old, you know, I want to be a fireman, you know, you need to support that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of mental health issues that stem from childhood as well, for lots of different reasons. But, I mean, if you've got a child and they say, I want to do this, and you go, no, you're going to be a doctor. Come hell or high water, that's it. You're going to school, you're going to get these grades and you're going to be a doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, there's counselling and mental health issues right there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're arguing with a child at 5 years old because that child wants to do something and you want to control the child to do something else, you're still going to be arguing with them at 10, at 15, at 20, and at 25, you're both going to counselling.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't have that relationship. You know, by then you're both,
Yeah.
you know, in a really bad place.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, so it starts from, you know, the home just as much. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, look, we're all products of the environment.
Yeah.
Whether it's home or work, school, whatever it may be, we're all products of it, and especially at that age as well. I'm definitely a product of my environment. I look back on it all the time and how I was brought up and my surroundings and everything, and as much as I tried to be completely different to what I saw in my environment, I'm definitely a product of it. 100%.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, and I was similar, you know, like I didn't have a good upbringing, you know, like I was provided for, but I wasn't protected.
Yeah.
You know, I had a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
And my goal as I was growing up was like, I don't want to be anything like you.
Yeah.
You know, some people don't understand that they have that choice.
Yep.
You know, to be able to change that thought pattern and that mindset.
Yeah.
And they're so programmed that they don't know how to function.
Yeah.
You know, and I was the opposite. I'm like, I'm doing everything I can, you know, not to be in this environment and, you know, to be like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you get into that nutrition side of things before the breath work? Did that lead into that?
Yeah.
Like, did that make you want to go into that, or did you just discover that another way?
So I started with the integrated nutrition first a few years ago, and a lot of people, you know, around town know my husband, Cleave. He got diagnosed with a really serious heart condition where he could drop dead at any time, and he had to live with that for a few years.
Okay.
So he was sick for a long time, and never really got anything resolved.
Yeah.
And that's hard. Like, it's a difficult
Oh,
dynamic.
draining.
Well, because it affects the both of us, you know what I mean?
I can imagine.
I got to the point where I had to say to him, you know, like, I can't do this anymore, mate.
Yeah.
Like, I can't live like this anymore.
Yeah.
So finally got him to go to a specialist down in Melbourne, and we did the doctors did a fantastic job on doing every test imaginable, and we got the call to go back in, and it was, you've got two heart defects, you know, and one of them's probably going to kill you, but we can't operate because you're too young, because if we operate now, it's not permanent, so you'll need another open heart surgery, and it's not something that doctors like to do.
Yeah.
And he had sleep apnea as well, which was quite moderate. We knew that, you know, so we fixed that first because it was the easiest thing to fix.
Yeah.
And then he said, oh, and we think you've got cancer too, you know, like we'll have to rerun those tests. And by that time we were just like, so what do we do?
Yeah, a bit full on.
You know, like it was crazy. Yeah. And so because they couldn't operate and he was really heavily medicated and just kept getting sicker, I then, you know, took it upon myself to research, you know, like,
it's amazing how many people...
What do I need to do? How do I keep this guy alive?
Yeah, how many people end up doing that and finding a better way?
Well, we were faced with, like, a medical opinion. And that's one opinion.
Yeah.
And I remember speaking to his first heart specialist, and we'd done some research, and I said, I don't understand what's going on here. And I just asked him straight out, and I said, are you studying him? Because we'd looked up the technique of the surgery that he needed, and, you know, like what the outcome was. And back then the mortality rate for that was 97%. Like, he just really didn't have a chance with the surgery.
Yeah.
He was at some point going to end up dying without it.
Yeah.
And he was putting him on medication that didn't make sense to me, and I was researching the medication. I'm like, but he's having all these other physical side effects and reactions. And
you got deep into it.
Oh, really full on. And I just said, like, oh, what's going on here? Like, are you actually just studying this guy? And he goes, yeah, because we don't have a lot of live, like, research. So we just want to see if we can medicate him, you know, and study him.
Just long enough to figure
long enough to figure out, you know, like, their research. And I was just like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And this inspired you to find a way.
Yeah. And I mean, and we'd been doing detoxes for years, and I knew the power of those protocols. And the detoxes that we do were a holistic approach to health. It wasn't just about your physical body; it was about your mind as well. So
are you already doing that before all this happened?
Yeah.
Did you say? Yeah.
We'd been doing that for years, and I started looking into that myself years ago because I was having my own, you know, mental health issues. You know, I've suffered from depression for most of my life because of the, you know, my upbringing and the things that had happened to me. And so the first detox I ever did, and there's one up in Mullaney in Queensland. I think it's still there. And it was an organic detox retreat, and they specialised in addiction and depression. So when you go there, it wasn't just about, like, organic eating and looking after yourself physically. You know, like, there was counselling, and there was, you know, naturopaths and doctors and just everything you could imagine. It was because nothing's disconnected. You're a whole person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they dealt with that, you know, as a whole person. And I ended up finding another clinic over in Thailand that had similar principles, so we would go over there.
Yeah.
And things worked out really well for Andrew. He ended up having the open heart surgery, and he's come out of that really good. And we went through integrative cancer treatment again over in Thailand.
What was the cancer, if you don't mind?
Prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that worked really well, but it wasn't enough for him. So he ended up having to go through surgery and coming out the other side of that now. So he's doing well.
Yeah.
But while we were there, and because I was having my own mental health issues, and I remember one of the services that they offered was breathwork.
Yeah.
And it was rebirthing breathwork, and it was basically about, you know, like, you could reset your life and, you know, get really deep and spiritual. And I'm like, I'm going to give this a go.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I've never ever forgot my first breathwork experience.
That's
I
awesome.
went so deep.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have visions. You had some visions. Mine were out of this world.
Yep.
Yeah.
And my energy and my physical sensations were just, when it first started happening, like my hands started levitating, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the technique starts setting in. And
Can we explain Tetney to? We know we got the we got the rundown, we got the experience. Can we?
Should we flash some footage during the talk
we'll
as
put
well?
some
We'll put a
footage
little
up
bit of footage up.
Alice doing some dancing.
Yeah.
his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the arms moving. So, but yeah, can you explain Tetney to?
Yeah,
people
so
that are watching?
Tetney, I mean,
Tetney, sorry. Yeah.
Tetney. So there's a scientific basis behind Tetney. So when you oxygenate yourself to a certain level, you can actually change your pH, your oxygen in your blood, and you end up having a cramping. So what happens is it starts with your forefinger and your thumb, and they literally just clamp together. They cramp, and they look like that. They call it lobster claws. That's the other name for it. And if it gets really bad, it will actually go down to all your fingers and your whole hands, and they just lock. But sometimes it's not just your hands, your arms can start to go as well.
Yeah.
But my arms were actually levitating.
Just floating.
They literally started levitating. I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop, and everything's locking up, and it went from cool to like really scary. It was intense.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know where I was. Didn't realise I was still in the room. I actually thought I was in another universe, and the visions for me were just so powerful.
We had a chat before we did it, and you said they compare it to DMT. If anybody knows what DMT is, look up Joe Rogan talking about DMT and the escaping to another universe kind of deal, which is awesome. I wish we hit that level.
Yeah.
We're going to go back and do another
Always
session.
wishing for DMT.
And it does happen because when you breathe a certain way, you can actually release the natural DMT yourself, and that's when you have those visions.
Yeah, because you release it. You release DMT when you're born and when you die.
Yeah. And I mean, and they've done a lot of psychedelic studies with mental health, you know, especially over in the States, and also with terminally ill patients, you know, to show them what death potentially could be like.
Yeah.
You know, but you can get into those states naturally.
Yeah.
You can do that by meditating.
Yeah.
I can also get into those states just through Reiki, through the energy.
Yeah.
The breath work. I mean, can you believe what you were able to attain with your body and your mind just by breathing?
Yeah.
A certain way.
Yeah, it is quite cool. And look, we'll put up some footage, and we're also going to put up some footage. We'll put some good snippets up on what we experience, and also Nicole going through on, so a bit more what's involved, I guess, with it. So you can sort of see what we're talking about. So, yeah, it was quite interesting.
Highly recommend going for a session.
What was it, an hour? It was about an hour.
Yeah, so it's an hour for the actual breathing.
Yeah.
You know, so we start off slow.
Yeah.
As you know, and that's just to get your body relaxed and your mind relaxed as well. So the first thing that happens is you activate your nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system, and that's your physical response to slow down.
Yeah.
The first thing that happens is your heart. It actually starts to regulate.
Yeah.
And because it's pumping your blood flow, then your blood flow starts to regulate, your blood pressure starts to regulate. Your vagus nerve controls your autonomic nervous system, and that's attached to all your other organs as well, so they all fall into line. But your vagus nerve is also attached to the base of your brainstem.
Yeah.
So then your brain wave starts to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when you start to go into
a
journey.
Yeah.
Or at worst, I always say to people, the worst thing that can happen is you're going to have an absolutely magical meditation experience.
Which is good enough.
Yeah.
The ultimate relaxation, you know. And the best thing, you know, that obviously the goal is to get you to go into a transcendental state. And that's literally a meeting with yourself,
Yeah.
your soul. Like I say this to people.
I think chocolate needs to meditate, don't you?
Yeah.
They look at me like I'm
meditate,
talking
chocolate.
Chinese.
Go meditate. Go and meditate. Even everyone's grilled tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Just to put some context, it's been raining for a few days and Chocolate hasn't had a walk. And
she usually
she's
pops in and
really
says
brilliant.
hi
Yeah,
once
she usually
or
pops
twice.
in, says hello, and then goes
But
does
she's
her own thing.
bloody all over it tonight. And
But,
smelling your cat.
She's
possibly.
right in the grill. Yeah, she must smell
my
the cat.
cat all over me. Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying, Nicole?
Well, that's why I wanted you guys to come and have the experience, you know,
Yeah.
because I can sit here and I can talk. I can say
you gotta do it,
all the things, you know, that have happened to me. And
there's a lot of people that are skeptical on it as well.
You really have to experience, you know, you've got to have a taste of it to even understand where I'm coming from.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not that I was skeptical, but I was curious, and now I'm more curious to try and get to another level.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. So I've always wanted to meditate.
Yeah.
So, like yourself, I've battled depression my whole life. I call them rabbit holes.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'll go in and out of rabbit holes at different periods of my life, and they're my depressive stages. Yeah. And I sit there and identify why I'm in it, what's going to get me out of it, and I sort of self-diagnose it, and I go in this rabbit hole and try to get out. As getting older, they're harder to get out of.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to start. I've always wanted to start meditating, and my mind's very busy.
Yeah.
Mine's very busy, like anyone's, but it's very busy, and I've always had self-doubts about actually being able to meditate. And to be honest, after the other day of just doing a bit of breath work and to see just what the little snippet, and to see what I could do from just breathing, has got me curious, and I want to start setting down the path of actually doing it and putting it in place.
Yeah.
I believe now that I actually can do it. It was really eye-opening. So for anyone that's sort of wanting a nice, comfortable environment to maybe get a taste of that sort of healing, Nicole's definitely. Yeah,
and all you've got to do is breathe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a guide.
Yeah.
You know, I'm literally there to help you.
Yeah.
To go on your own journey.
Yeah.
Because what comes up for you.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do
with
it.
That's right. Yeah.
It's literally a meeting of your own soul.
Yeah.
You know, you have a spiritual intelligence, and it's only when you quiet that noise in your head, you know, and slow your body and slow your brain down to be able to connect with that. You know, and further from that, you're able to connect with, you know, the spiritual realm. And that's different for all people. You know, some people say believe in God. Some people it's just an energy, you know, a universal life force.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is, you know, and I don't care what label you put on it, you know, but it's there. Yeah. You know, and you guys, you can't deny that. You know, when you get into another interesting thing, actually, I'll say it this way. Yoga, the very foundation of yoga wasn't about the yoga that we know today. Yeah. It was actually about the breath.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It was to be in a seated position, to stay still and to activate your breath consciously. Yeah. And what that did is it got people to commune and connect with themselves, with their soul. Yeah. And as they continued breathing, then they were able to connect to the spiritual realm. Yeah. And that's also the foundation of prayer. Okay. Prayer was about breathing. Yeah. Getting in touch, connecting with yourself, and then being able to connect to that higher guidance.
I guess, that could sort of why people, when they pray or have prayed in the past, say they've been touched by God or spoken to or whatever. Maybe there's some DMT popping. Maybe they're hitting some DMT, and you know, there are some things. Moses in the burning bush that a good friend told me that he's looked into, that it was actually a psychedelic experience. There's a lot of things that link religion to psychedelic.
Well, they wouldn't know what they were eating and smoking back then.
No, who knows? There's some really interesting books and podcasts about that link between religion and higher sort of, it's interesting. There's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
And that's what it was back then. You got to remember, they're not living in the conditions that we're living in today, you know. We're living in an information, you know, technology society.
Yeah.
You know, we don't often get in touch with ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, actually quiet our minds.
We're worrying about everyone else. That's the problem. We're worrying about everyone else but ourselves.
Yeah. We lost the purpose,
you
know, or the meaning of what it's, you know, what it is to be a human.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying it's easy.
Oh, no.
You know,
it's
but
just
if you
always
can
that don't have time.
Yeah.
That's what I always find my excuse is I don't have time.
Yeah.
Emma and I started trying to do yoga just at home.
Yeah.
Just on YouTube, and we did it like twice.
Yeah.
And it's like,
how's it working out?
don't have time. I did yoga for ages, and then my instructor moved and never found another instructor, and tried to do it at home, but it's the same with gym. I pay for a gym membership because then I go to the gym building and I do gym. At Mum and Dad's house, we had pretty much a whole gym in the backyard, and I never really used it because it was at home. Home was my time just to go home and watch Netflix and do But if I step into the gym, I'm there to do gym. So I think it's the same with yoga. I need to go somewhere to actually do it. Otherwise, it's not.
I'd like to try yoga, but I didn't even stretch when I was playing footy. I got the flexibility of that palate.
Me too.
So it worries me. I feel I'm going to cause physical harm to myself.
Oh, yeah. I've got niggles, man.
Yeah.
Niggles Carter.
Niggles Carter. That's me.
Oh, I love it.
But anyone can do it. What I experienced the other night is anybody could do it.
Oh, it definitely made me, like the state that I got into at the end, and I just felt like I was floating. I actually started laughing and smiling, as you saw, and I was like pure bliss moment that I just felt amazing in that one spot, and it was actually like I was floating. And if you got into the good routine of trying to meditate or doing it like a couple of times a week or something, I think you would be in a very good mental place. Yeah. If I could hit that happiness twice a week.
There's not many people that you meet. You know, look, you can only take anything at surface value how people are feeling, but you don't meet too many people that are, you know, that do meditate regularly or do these things as part of their everyday routine that aren't feeling good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You don't get many that go, I meditate every day, but I'm depressed.
It's not working.
It's not working. Yeah. Generally, most people that do it are quite positive. They're feeling good. They're, you know, so proof's in the pudding, I suppose. Yeah.
It's about slowing down.
I love pud. Christmas pud.
Yeah, it's just slowing down. Everything's 100 miles an hour, like you said, with technology and work and everything these days, and the pressure of money and everything is just
society
go.
Does it too. The society pressures now. Like, there's always been a pressure from society. You know, from every generation's felt it at some point, but it feels like now that it's just really just throttling you. You know, you've got everyone in your face. From having a 10-minute smoker, you're looking at what everyone else is doing for 10 minutes. You're not worrying about, I'm just going to chill out for 10 minutes and get back to work and that sort of thing. You know, all you like is like what everyone else is doing. What's everyone doing? What's everyone doing? And in your 10 minutes is gone.
Yeah.
You know, and people are walking around, like everyone's walking around with a phone. Yeah. I mean, you go somewhere, it doesn't matter if they're eating or shopping, like everyone's on a phone.
Yeah.
You know, in the cars, everyone's on a phone.
I'm terrible for it too.
I'm not, but people seem to be so connected to, you know, an image. But they're not connected with themselves.
Everyone else is
connected to be
people have got to put the phone down more unless you're going to watch our podcast and pick it up. Watch it, then put the phone down.
My group organises a Christmas dinner every year. We try to. A couple of years ago, where were we? Picaro's or something. And we did phone on the middle of the table. Whoever touches it has to pay for everything.
Yeah.
And it was good. And it was everyone just chatted the whole time. Like, we usually, as a group, we're pretty good always. But it was just that whole other level of, and everyone was laughing because my phone usually goes off all the time. So one was vibrating like, oh, so you're going to pick it up. I didn't. I can do it, but I'm sort of bad in the day to day.
I actually think
it doesn't help though. Like Well, when I was in hospital during my cancer stint, my phone was my saviour there, sitting there day in, day out, doing nothing else. So then that caused a bad habit, and I did get better, but then I run this Instagram for the podcast. I run my Instagram. I run GB Sign Makers where I work. I run that Instagram. I run my Four Kings Clothing Instagram. So it's business as well.
Yes.
So it makes it even harder to pull away. It's like, well, I need to. But it's just like.
But you can still set yourself boundaries.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's work, that's fine. But you still have to have those healthy boundaries.
Exactly right.
Because the thing is, what it does is it disconnects us.
Yeah, it's connecting and disconnecting at the same time.
Well,
it's connecting you with people that you might not like, friends in Melbourne or whatever, but then it's disconnecting you from life in front of you.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember listening to one of your podcasts and you were talking about connecting with your mates and going out and having a meal, you know, and having fun and blowing off steam and having a laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, that we need to get back to doing those things. You don't need to have your phone, to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the disconnect has created such a driver to depression and mental health.
Oh, yeah.
And especially expectation. And it's not just an expectation about what we think that other people think we should be doing. It's an expectation about ourselves, what we think we should be doing and where we think we should be in life.
Yeah,
You know, okay, I'm 30. So if you're not married and you don't have kids and all your friends do, there's that expectation of, well, what am I doing with my life and where am I going? And, my mates have got a house. And
I felt that. I was still at mum and dad's and all my friends and that had moved out. I had a bit of an excuse, but it's just, I don't know, it just automatically sets into everyone, I think.
It does, but then it also sets your mental health, into overdrive.
Yeah, it does. Society expectations. That's probably the latest rabbit hole I've been in, is that society expectations. I turned 34 this year. No children. I got a house, but I compare myself. Comparing myself to mates and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I look at what society's expected me, and it's sabotaged. I've self-sabotaged important people and things in my life from trying to fit into what society wants me to be.
Yeah.
Or what I think I should be, instead of just being who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm only sort of becoming in a realisation with that now, and it's weird, and it's such a battle. But that society pressure, and because society pressure, I suppose a long time ago was pressure from your parents of what they wanted you to be, or pressure from family members, nan and pop, you need to do this, need to do that, whatever. Now you've got society pressures. You're seeing thousands of people every day thinking, all these people are doing these things or doing that or being like this or wearing that or having kids or whatever, and you're going, well, what am I doing? And you're questioning what you're doing and how you're living your life. Now, in some ways that can be positive if you're living a negative life. It can be a quite positive effect. But if you're living a good life of who you are, that's quite damaging. And very damaging for your mental health. And I'm only starting to realise that at 34.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can imagine people that are, in their low 20s or teens that are very impressionable and, the damage that it could be causing. So it's, definitely that pressure from society is a massive, massive problem.
Speaking of pressure, do we put the pressure on?
Are you ready?
King of the track.
Yeah, are you ready?
This is the real pressure.
Yeah, so
we've got the leaderboard.
We've got the leaderboard now. Who's that in first? I can't read it.
Slipping down further and further.
Who's in first?
I don't know. I can't see that far. I don't have my glasses on. Sorry. Camera can't see it either, but it's probably not you.
It looked like me.
It's
that's
very, very upsetting.
So are you ready to have a crack?
Yeah, let's give this a go.
Yeah. Do you want to set her up, Al?
Sorted.
So what we're going to do, we're going to fire some questions at you while you play Mario Kart and try to get on the King of the Track leaderboard.
You'll be on there.
I'm not a
I'm
bet.
going to be
I'm not
on the board, aren't I?
Well, I'm a bet.
Where I'm going to be.
I'm a bit of a betting person, and I'd put money on that you're going to be a top 5.
Yeah.
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 That'd
think I
be
will
my
be this
forecast for this. But
and
yeah,
then
we're gonna.
after your 6th guest, we'll just see how.
Well, it could be interesting. Then it starts. There could be a shift, but I'm confident. I'm quietly confident that you're gonna go pretty well.
Okay. Cool.
So, and I'm going to ask you some questions so that you can answer naturally and instinctively.
Because I'm going to be seriously concentrating because it was very unco.
We did give you a practice.
In the practice, it was
we did give you a practice. We were nice to you and gave you a bit of a practice.
I was going to say the old system update, but it went very fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's very awkward. At least it's not a PS4, otherwise we'd have to come back tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%.
So we'll set you up.
We need to get some more guests on quick because I decided last interview that once we're on the 10th guest, I get to do a rerun.
Oh, okay, so you're making up rules as you go along now.
Alistair is, because he's not happy,
Yeah.
Actually, I just realised, I know I've looked at that a few times, but I just realised you're 4th.
Oh, yeah. We've gone over that a few times. Don't lie to the fans and pretend.
I'm just actually really taking notice and just taking it in right now.
I'm actually so upset with myself, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm going to take my own advice and I'm just going to breathe.
Breathe. So we need to do some breath work before the race.
Next breath work, you'll be seeing Mario all up in the visions.
Yeah, I think I've
time trials.
Seen him once or twice.
Just whatever.
Did you have a certain character you would like to go? Do you want me to do this part for you?
Nobody offered me characters.
No one offered you characters?
No.
You're quite welcome to pick your character.
Yeah. Just use this to flick around to choose your little character there.
You can choose your character to play.
Oh, gosh. Decisions.
How do people reach out for bookings with you, Nicole? What's the easiest way?
So probably go through my Instagram account.
Yep.
And direct message or email me from there.
Can we flash up?
Just right here.
Flash up something.
Just right there.
Just there.
Naala healing.
Yeah.
Look at this. Prepared it earlier.
It is.
Now how do I? Look, I can't even click on it. So
that's all right.
She'll do. All right. We'll click A here.
Yeah.
Lovely. I reckon that's the wheels that I went. So you don't want to go those. So I'll choose your different wheels. Those ones are better.
Now, if I go super slow, I just realised she's got a hair in her eyes, so that's going to be my excuse.
All right, now we need the track.
To the ghost.
It's in the ghost.
You can't get much more organic than this podcast because
it's in the triangle.
We've had software update. Taking 10 minutes to pick a character.
That's all right. All right, we're loading. I'm just getting ready to put this above my name already.
You just count down, Nicole, as it counts down for me so I can hit you with the questions.
Questions are coming.
Oh, okay.
So you tell me.
3, 2, 1, go.
Favourite song?
At the moment, it's probably Berg's Mount Wolf.
Mount Wolf?
Yeah,
God,
I sent it to you.
Spotify.
Oh, yeah. We're going to make a Spotify playlist with all the tracks.
Palmy or Palmer?
Parma with pepper sauce.
With pepper sauce?
Yeah.
On a Parma?
Oh, no, on the side.
On the side?
On the side, I'll do it in myself.
I'm keen on that. What would your last meal on earth be?
Oh, wine.
I love that. Fruit. I love that. If you could play one instrument like a pro, what would it be?
Oh, piano.
Thought you might say the handpan. Have you seen the handpans?
Piano would be a good one.
You get one of those.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, fly.
To fly? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I said fly.
Favourite childhood toy?
I had a teddy bear.
Just a teddy bear? Did it have a name? Did you name it?
No, I don't remember.
No. Original recipe or zinger?
Oh, Is that KFC?
It is KFC.
I was going to say, you picked a hard question.
No,
here.
Is that a hard question?
Oh, look, original, because, No, Zinger's hot, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll have a Zinger.
Do you like spicy?
Yeah.
You're a
Yes.
spicy person?
Yes, I do.
If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would it be?
Oh, Italy.
Italy. Any certain part of Italy?
We've been to Italy a couple of times, but I haven't been to the Amalfi Coast yet. So
Well, that'd be nice. I've had
Yeah.
a friend that's been in the Amalfi Coast. I'm very jealous. Would you prefer a big house or a fast car?
You can't ask her that question. We've been to
I got
that
the
house.
I have been in that house. Have you got both?
Yeah. What car have you got? That's the question.
Navara.
Oh, it's not very fast.
No.
I think I could beat that in the Ranger.
Oh no, we've got a no. I've got a Cuda actually.
Oh.
Do you know what that is? A Plymouth Cuda.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Got one of those. Thank you.
All right, she's got the house and the car.
Yeah.
Next question.
If you could be an animal, what would it be?
Oh, horse.
Horse?
I just think they're magical and
Yeah.
they're just so intelligent.
Just a horse or a unicorn horse? Racing horse?
Well, if you're offering unicorns, I'll take
Unicorns?
them.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
Breathe. Please stop. Tune in and breathe.
I like it. I like that. Pizza or pasta?
Oh, pizza.
I had pizza for dinner, takeaway.
Did you? I'm jealous. I'm hungry. If you could only change one thing in the world, what would it be?
Alistair's time on King of the Track.
Honestly, I just want everybody to get back in touch with spirituality.
Yep. Cool. I like that.
Love it.
I like
Imagine if everyone was. That'd be pretty cool.
that. It would be nice. It would be nice. Soccer or footy?
Can I say NRL?
Oh, that's two in a row.
twice.
Yeah.
That's two in a row.
Tariq
Yeah,
asked
I'll
us
take that.
real footy.
I'll take that.
Oh,
I'll tell you
hang
what.
on.
No, hang on.
It says you lose. What happened?
Oh, we're over.
We're
But
over.
that's
What
because
was
you're
the time?
racing the Ghost against Travis. Did the time pop up there?
What time did you get?
Here we go. All right, 3:17.508.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, cool.
You don't have. Oh, take a quick pic.
Take a quick pic.
You don't have a permanent
So we can put her up on the board.
Do you have a permanent texter? You don't, do you?
All right, so just
Don't think so.
I'm on the board.
You're on
You're on the
I'm
board.
on the board.
And you're top 5.
And
So
I'm
if
gonna
I did
be-
actually put some money on it, I won.
Hey, speaking of.
How good your editing going, Al?
Yeah, good as.
Is it?
This is standing up very straight.
Blame me.
I will blame
You're going to leave that in?
I can't believe that just fell
Look
over.
whose name stayed on the board.
It did.
Oh, I'm now number one.
It was a...
That was on
I think you've
purpose.
done that deliberately.
Oh, we've lost soil.
Jeez, you're causing major issues here.
We've lost soil. Jesus Christ.
I love this. This is great.
That's funny.
How you
That's
edit
staying
this?
like that. Chock! Alright, I've been kicked
And you
off.
lost.
I
Nova.
break the board and now
Nova.
I'm kicked
Hop
off my
down.
seat.
Nova, hop down.
Golly,
I love
wow.
this.
I'm now number one. We'll fix that later.
Oh, I love this. That is gold. I love it.
That is classic.
Well, thank you
I'm
very
right
much for
with that.
doing that. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, that
You
was
did?
really cool. I mean, it's definitely not my thing. I don't have one at home.
Don't have are you going to buy one now?
I'll talk to Cleave about it, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
you know
reckon
what?
you
Like,
should have some intense races.
I have the most competitive husband, you know. Yeah. No, actually, no, I'm not going to buy one. No.
That's gold.
There'll be a lot of breathing going on afterwards. It'd be an intense race, like breathe.
Yeah.
It would be. It would be. I think it's competition time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it
Let's
comp
draw
time?
the competition.
So we're going to announce the winner from...
Nemesis
From
from Tariq,
Nemesis.
which was a huge prize.
It was
From memory.
It was very generous of Tariq.
There was
yeah.
infrared sauna.
Yep.
A week of classes, wasn't
Believe
it?
so.
It was a week of any classes you want.
I believe so.
Huge
yeah. It
prize.
was a
It
massive-
was-
Cool, yeah.
Have you done
I
CrossFit?
saw it.
That was my reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my reaction
Yeah.
too. So yeah.
Trav and I have
No.
still, Tariq, hit us up. We still
Yeah,
got to
we're
come
still going
for
to
a
come for the session and
Make
get
a
some
fool of
footage.
ourselves.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Just like I did just now.
Yeah, 100%.
There's soil on the carpet.
That's all right.
There
That's
is,
fine.
actually.
That's fine.
Yes, put the leaf over it. and
Gotcha.
you'll-
Yeah, there you go. Covers it there.
So do you want to do the winner, mate?
I can
Do
do
you want
the
to pick
winner.
the winner? We're doing this
Definitely.
randomly.
Let's fetch the winner. Loading post.
No internet connection.
Yeah, imagine.
Especially after that.
Can't believe that.
Me either. You're such a perfectionist too.
Oh, well, you just had it standing up very vertical. There was no... I hardly touched it, Travis. I actually think you
Can we do some breath work now? I think Alison needs some breath work.
Getting very defensive.
Can you run him through some...
In through the stomach, in through the chest, out through the mouth.
Well, at least you remember the technique.
All right, here we go. Remember, it's the person that gets tagged too. So it's not you got to tag someone you think deserves it. We better show it to the camera to prove I'm not cheating.
Show it to the camera. Don't knock over the camera, mate.
Funny, Travis. Georgia Foster tagged Tamara Foster 90 right there.
Good job.
So congratulations to you. I believe Tariq said if they're already a member, they just get like the infrared and whatever upgrades.
Okay,
I'm pretty
that's
sure.
cool. That's cool.
So Tamara Foster.
Congratulations. And thanks for competing. Yep, cheers to you.
Cheers to that.
Nicole, is there something we can do with you for the viewers?
Yes, I would love to give away a breathwork session.
That's great.
I would love, as many people as possible to have that experience.
Experience it, yeah.
Yeah.
I know I said last time for people to tag me, but seriously this time, tag me.
Yeah. Tag me too, because I need a solo one. I was ready to
get
just
some breathing done.
drop in.
You're more than welcome to come back and
we definitely will.
have solo sessions.
That's very generous of you. We appreciate that.
No
and
we'll do another little post like we did with Nemesis. He whipped that up, actually, Mr. Graphic Designer Tariq.
That's
But we'll do a little post and get people to tag their friends that they believe need to get breathing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and please, if people ask you, talk about your experience.
Definitely.
Because everybody's experience is completely different.
Yeah.
And I actually really love the fact that you both had different experiences.
Yeah.
So if you had the exact same experience, that'd be cool as well.
Yeah.
But because you didn't, you're able to actually compare notes, to the scope of what can happen in a breathwork session.
Yeah. And for everyone that's worried about it or feels a bit nervous, anxious, whatever, just talk to Nicole. She's
Nicole makes
awesome.
it very comfortable.
Very approachable. Walks through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Very comfortable setting. It's really good. We highly recommend it. And
my partner Emma's keen actually. Emma's very keen.
Yeah.
And do you read cards do you sell that or you just do that randomly? Is that part of your...
I always read cards for a client. If somebody wanted an actual card reading, I could do that, like a specific card reading.
Emma loves a card reading too.
I tune into every client. And it's really interesting what comes
That's
up.
what else you gave us a card at the end.
Yeah.
We did do a card. Yeah, which was pretty spot on. Yeah. It was good. Yeah. It sort of blew my mind away. Just to put the cherry on top of the
I know
after the breathwork. So it was good.
And it's interesting, especially with people that I don't know.
Yeah.
Because with people that I know, sometimes I'm privy to things that are going on in their life, and I'll draw a card, and I'm like, oh yes, I know that, and that's really cool, and they're going to really sync with that. But with people that I don't know, sometimes I get nervous, and I'm like, well, I really hope this resonates because I've got no clue, and I can see people's faces drop, and I always wait until they've come in and settled down, and we've had a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
And I have a chat, and sometimes I just can't help it. I just start smiling. I was like, oh my God, I'm so spot on with you.
Just a little bit of gloating. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
It's not me, I'm just the channel, and that's, it's an amazing feeling.
No, it was definitely, as I said, we've first-hand experienced it. It was an awesome experience.
Yeah.
Definitely people reach out to Nicole. Definitely give it a try. It's worth trying. If you don't do anything else, just try it. It's an hour of your time. Just try it and just see what it gets out of it, because everybody owes themselves. You owe yourself to try something like
just
this.
To have just that,
to enjoy it.
Just like I said, that last 5 minutes or whatever it was, where I just felt that bliss at peace.
Yeah.
And that's
Just that is worth it.
Yeah,
Just
and you know
that
what?
is
That's
worth
probably
it.
the most important part of the session. When you stop breathing
Yeah.
and your body
Not completely, people. You don't cut your breathing
when you
off.
stop
This is-
reacting, you know, and you literally just relax into your experience, into the physical sensations, into what's going on in your mind. Sometimes that's when the magic happens.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's when the clarity happens or the epiphany.
Yeah.
And,
That was the best.
Yeah.
That was the best spot.
and
for
like
me,
you
for
said,
sure.
you know, like most people don't want to get up and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have just. We laid there for a while, actually.
Yeah, we did. I was pretty comfy. I was never ready to sleep over, to be honest. Yeah.
Bring a pillow.
Yeah. Take a pillow, have a snooze. Yeah. No, loved it.
I had
So.
blankets ready, it's all right.
Nicole, thanks heaps for coming.
Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time out and
We could have
chatting
been for a
to
lot
us.
longer. That was easy.
Yeah, it was awesome. I really hope people, you know, it was a nice little dip the toe in about mental health because it is good to talk about it. Obviously, we don't want to get too serious and keep this serious because we like to keep it a little bit casual
Slide
about
into
it.
DMs, people, if
Talk
you're
about
struggling.
it.
Let us
Yeah,
know.
hit us up. Reach out to your friends. Reach out to whoever's there for it. You know, as I said, personally, I go through it, and it's good to just reach out sometimes.
You gotta make connections.
Got to make connections, keep those connections, and do your best. Do your best, and if you see a friend that you think might be, you know, going through that sort of thing, reach out to them. Just hit them up. You know, they're going to be pretty. They're going to put up a wall. But hit them up and try help them out. So, after that, a little bit of plug. Yeah, the hats. Yeah,
Check out
the hats.
Look at that. Zoom.
Zoom
In on the hat.
Zoom in on the hat. Buckets hat. If you want one, hit us up.
Yeah.
Nicole, thanks heaps for coming on.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And thank you both for, you know, being open to the experience.
Yeah, we loved it,
Yeah.
and it was awesome. And thanks for inviting us
I
in your home.
appreciate your
And,
help.
yeah, appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm empty.
Oh,
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for
Thanks.
tuning in. Catch us soon.